And for more, let's bring in ABC News senior Pentagon reporter Luis Martinez and ABC News contributor, former senior CIA field operative Darrell Blocker. Luis, this is just the latest in a series of recent attacks on U.S. targets by groups believed to be supported by Iran. So how is the Pentagon upping the pressure on Iran?
Diane, the United States has been calling out Iran as being behind these attacks. We're talking not just the ones that Martha laid out there off the coast of Yemen, but also the ones against U.S. bases in Iraq and Syria. While the ones in Iraq and Syria seem to have tempered off a bit, that's because maybe the United States carried out those retaliatory strikes, and maybe they've had their intended effect. It could also have been because of what happened with the Hamas and Israel ceasefire about a week ago. But what we have seen is these ramping up in tensions off the coast of Yemen as the Houthis, they seem to not care that the United States is shooting down their weapons and that the United States is capable of retaliating against them. Now, right now, we've seen no indications that the United States is prepared to carry out retaliatory strikes against the Houthis in Yemen, but that is a strong possibility given what you heard from Martha's report, the threats to commercial shipping and threats to U.S. naval ships. Not just one, not just the USS Carney, but also various other times over the last 2 weeks, we've seen repeated incidents where U.S. naval vessels have been involved in engagements with missiles or drones that have been fired by the Houthis.
Darrell, why do you think we're seeing this escalation of attacks on U.S. forces and ships by these Iran-backed groups, and why now?
Particularly now because they think we're vulnerable. They think that we're fully focused on Israel. They possibly think that putting pressure on the United States will force them to make the Israelis stop. But it's definitely linked to the Hamas-IDF situation.
Luis, these attacks in the Red Sea, they're raising concerns that the Israel-Hamas war could spread into a wider regional conflict. And those concerns already existed. This is just heightening them. So what do U.S. and Israeli officials say they're doing to try to contain this war?
Well, Diane, the United States message all along has been deterrence to prevent this conflict from spreading beyond Israel and Hamas. One of the concerns has been the Houthis because they have these weapon systems that are provided by Iran. We're talking long-range missiles, long-range drones, and probably the tacit approval of Iran. So when you get involved in a situation like this, you have to think of the consequences beyond what is just the Houthis doing this. How do you send a message to Iran to actually stop the Houthis from doing this? That's where this gets complicated, and that's why when I think U.S. officials look at how they're going to react to this, if they're going to react to this, they have to take into account the broader scheme of things because, yes, no one wants to see this conflict broaden beyond just Israel and Hamas, but when you see incidents like this taking place over and over, it's kind of hard not to ignore them.
Darrell, how big of a threat do these drone attacks pose to the U.S.?
They pose a larger threat to the commercial shipping than they do to our ships. But lest we forget, it was one small dinghy that put a huge hole in the side of the USS Cole. So a well-placed, a well-designed, a well-targeted drone could do some damage to U.S. warships.
All right, Luis Martinez, Darrell Blocker, thank you both.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.